Damo's recovery session.
Oh, Davey Warner has been given out LBW and has not sent it upstairs. He's just continued to walk off.
Oh, Damo
so he's gone for 7.
Damo thought it should have gone upstairs.
You thought it was doing too much?
Oh, I
Purple?
thought it was, Jim.
His
but,
naked eye, it looked real good to me.
It's unusual for Davey to just walk. So
Leg stump, that's out.
You
Our team.
Now,
Some breaking news.
go on.
The Brisbane and the Collingwood game, Jim, in the AFLW qualifying final will be played this Sunday. So that means the prelim and the grand final will all be pushed back a week.
Righto.
Yes. Yep. The match will be at the Gabba and it will commence at 12:05 local time.
Oh, nice. Now, Purple, good to see you always.
Yes.
Cracking first round of football. Lots of really good games.
I thought it was just a ripping opening to 2022. 8 of the 9 games were yet to be decided midway through the last quarter. Some of them went, as we saw with the Fremantle Adelaide game, basically down to the very single last play. And there's just storylines galore. And Bill,
yes.
Some may say unusually, I just want to talk about all the positives on this show today.
Positives.
Have you got any negatives at all?
We've got some because we need
Mason
the yin and the yang. We need
What's wrong with
what's
Mason
Cox? Yeah.
Well, he's Sunnies.
Bill, he's got to wear them for medical reasons.
They don't look right,
It's
Jim.
not a. He's
Looks
not
like
doing
he's
it
scuba
to,
diving
not
or in the
cosmetic.
pool.
He's had very serious eye injuries and might end up blind if he has another one.
I like Mason Cox, but it just looks different. Looks not right.
Why? He needs the
Shut up,
protection
just
around
'cause
the
he's
eye.
got
Well,
4
anyone who-
eyes and you've got 4
Well,
eyes.
that's why I'm in the 4-eyed
Have a
brigade
listen
with
to
you.
this.
I tell you what was good. What did you? I love the umpiring because
Yeah,
I
I do
know,
too. Yep.
and also the players with the umpire abuse. Was there any 50-metre penalties?
Oh, there were 1 or 2,
Yeah,
but they
well
there
done.
needed
Minimal.
to be. And the way they're adjudicating the holding the ball, now I know there's still a few mixed reviews on it, but I think anyone who has sat through the Brad Scott briefing, and every single player has, every single club has, and I think most media have.
Yep.
If you're fortunate enough to have sat through that, I feel they are umpiring it to a T, to what they're being told to do.
I
And
like it.
I think it's really sharpened the game up. I like it because there's at least an awareness. If a player is tackled in any form, he knows he has to at least attempt it, which wasn't the case the last 2 years, Bill. So, good starting positive. The other big positive, I think, en masse were the kids, weren't they? And when I say kids, I'm going to throw Jack Hayes into that because he played his first game and he's not a kid. He's 26, but the impact he made in Friday Night Lights, 3 goals, 18 touches, 10 good marks, and just genuine presence, as we discussed on the weekend. But
I loved it.
genuine presence. We also, you covered the Nick Martin 5 goals, 27 disposals.
27 disposals, 5 goals, 10 marks. And he
did you know
popped up.
before the game when you did your research and you take little scissors before the game at the MCG and you cut and paste
Did his
the team
research.
sheets?
He
He had
just brought
scissors.
the form guide in to put your quaddie on.
And I had my work there, Jim, were in those teams. I did have to
You
have a
saw
look
him with
at
the scissors, the little orange-handled scissors.
No reason to have scissors.
I had to
And a
have a
tennis
look
ball.
at who's this Nick Martin. I thought it was Mick
Subi.
Martin.
And then
But he was great. Well done, Tim.
yeah, and the other Nick who in any other week in round 1 when you pick up 27 touches in your first game, Nick Dacos, that would be enough to be the main debutant, but he's probably come in 3rd at best. And then Josh Rochelle, I mean, you could mount the case that was the best performance of all the debutants. So just lit that game up yesterday, 5 goals. Josh Gibcus did enough for Richmond in that same space, and also too, Jason Horne-Francis didn't get the numbers, but you just
The Hornet.
the first game was
Jeez, he's clean and explosive.
Don't mention North, old sad sack over here.
Well,
no reason
the
to.
problem for the Hornet, Purple, we got another wicket down.
I think we have.
Oh, no, the Marnus Labuschagne.
First ball.
2 for 8 after, I'm guessing, winning the toss
We
and
won the
electing to
top.
bat.
I said that, Jim. You weren't
No, I
listening.
don't reckon you did.
So I reckon he's on a Shaheen is on a hat-trick here, Jim.
No, he faced 2 balls, Marnus.
that's
But
right.
how's he been dismissed? Let's have a look.
Caught the
Nick,
line.
nicked
Yeah.
off. So, Purple,
Yep.
the problem for the Hornet will be, and I'm being serious now, if you are trying to play as a high forward in the worst team in the comp, it's a road to nowhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't come in very often, and when it does, it comes in real dirty.
And the other role he's going to get is also in the middle of the ground for the worst team in the comp, which won't be much easier, will it? Given the attention that you will get even more so, I think, when he's actually in the centre for those clearances.
So, but he did look really good, I thought. So
more than enough in his first game.
He will be fine. But I agree with you. Really good debuts for all of those players.
Yeah, it really was. I love the 3 new coaches. I say new because Michael Voss is new in the context of having a second go, but all 3 got the wins. Obviously, Michael Voss very excited Thursday night, Bill, with the big win over Richmond, but then come Friday morning with the COVID positive test, which will keep him out of the round 2 game against the Bulldogs on Thursday. That opens the door for Ashley Hansen to coach the team. He's had 9 years at the Bulldogs prior to this most recent stint at Carlton, and he's considered by some to be a coach in waiting. It's just happening a whole lot quicker in terms of getting a senior game.
Will they zoom him in, Vossi?
I'm yet to get the full details. I believe they will. I think they're wading through the logistics of that because it's not something they normally allow, is it? Communications within the game itself. But I'd imagine they would, and the AFL's working through that. Sam Mitchell too. You mentioned North Melbourne there, Jim. Just really impressive, wasn't he? He played the kids. It was the youngest team Hawthorn had selected.
And they had all those COVID issues coming into the game.
Yeah, McAvoy missing, Bruce missing, and then the last time they were that young, Bill, this is significant. 2005 round 1, which was the first game of Alistair Clarkson's reign. So he's gone down that youth path again, and you could see they liked it.
And they had long sleeves if they wanted. They could wear.
Because they've been banned, haven't they, with
They've
Clarko?
been banned.
Even in that game in the snow in Canberra, wasn't it?
When he ran out in his jocks or whatever. Right. Remember Clarko then. But why would you do that? If players want to wear long sleevers, surely you let them wear long sleevers as Smith's not out in the first delivery. But wouldn't you do that if a player wants to wear short sleeves or long sleeves? You let him do it.
Wouldn't have an issue with it one bit. Just before we go for that first break, Jim, Petrarca, I still think Bont is the standout number 1 in the comp, but others are mounting the case for Petrarca. The last 2 games he's played are off the charts. We don't need to say anything more about the grand final performance, which got him the Norm Smith medal, but the other game last Wednesday, it wasn't much less a quality game than what he played.
When he gets hold of the ball. I think he gets it a lot, and what happens with it is the reason why he's the best player in the comp, or in the sentence anyway. All right, a break. More with Damo after this.
It's the Rush Hour, Triple M. And for KO Sports, Damian Barrett is in the studio. Never miss a moment of the team you love with every game, every round. Live and ad break free in play on KO Sports. If you're new to KO, start your free trial today.
Did you hear the opening segment?
I did, Jim. You were good in it.
Just have a listen to Bill because, have a listen. Damian Barrett joins us, talk about a magnificent round 1 of football.
Bloody oath.
Jeez, it was good to watch a lot of those games. Superb. Hello to you, Fat.
Oh, g'day, Jim. Of course, Damian Barrett. You forgot Damo.
No, I didn't.
Did you mention him? I'm going to have a listen.
No, that is the listen.
I heard you say a magnificent round of football. I didn't hear you say old DB. And he's here. Give us an update of the cricket, please, over in Punjab.
Over there, Bill, it's 10 for 2 in the...
No,
that's
right,
what
mate.
it says on the screen, Bill.
Don't
We're
fall
using
for
the
that.
English scoreboard.
Hey, Purple.
10 out for 2 runs.
That's the way I used to think of it.
Heath Chapman.
Yeah, Jim,
that is the smartest thing I've seen a footballer do for 10 years.
Yeah, it might be. Just for those who didn't see it, Ben Keys had that last shot at goal for the Crows, and they were 1 point down. It was going through, wasn't it? And not only did he stop it within half a metre of the goal line, he somehow kept it in play and then followed it up. And it could have gone anywhere. I mean, the panic reaction would have been just to get hands on it to ensure you touch it so it didn't go for a goal. But look, I can't think of the next smartest thing I've seen. So for you to say
how many times, Bill, do we look at the footy and go, you idiot? But this, he actually was genius.
Who tried to mark one? Remember, it was their own kick in and went through the hands of for a point.
That was a Sava, wasn't it?
Oh, it was too, Sav. Come on, Radical. Remember down at Geelong, it's gone through for a goal. He tried to mark it, dropped it. But that is instinct, and you can't coach that.
No, you can't. But to have to be aware of the scores, and sometimes players aren't. I remember Nathan Brown celebrating the draw. Sometimes you don't know the scores. We'll bang through a few other positives before we get to the obligatory negatives, Bill. The Carlton system, it seemed to be at play. We touched on Michael Voss a few moments ago, but the midfield is good now, isn't it? Chera and Hewitt are clearly going to work with Cripps, who was still the best on ground.
When he's fit and firing.
And which he was.
He's up there with your man, Petrarca.
I don't think he is.
They're both,
no, but my man's Bont. My man's Bont. Other people have got Petrarca.
All right.
Who have you got?
I'm going to throw in a fit Patrick Cripps.
Okay. It'd be keen to
he
see
draws
him
2 or 3
You've forgotten about Dusty.
Well, he's coming.
Just forgotten about him.
Slim Dusty's coming. And Joel Selwood too. He's still got
I like the experiment with Mitch McGovern. I've still got my doubts about it, only because of what Mitch has produced to this point in time. But he's got talent. That's undeniable. And he used the ball really well, Bill, for a big guy. I like what Collingwood did. Again, it's the fresh set of eyes that Craig McRae's been really big on giving everyone at that footy club. And they're playing with it with a genuine passion, aren't they?
And good to watch.
Good
I
to
liked
watch.
how they
Good
went
to watch.
about it. It was, and they're openly saying we want to get it in. We want to hit the scoreboard. I love that. I loved GWS Sydney.
Yeah,
close
great
to the game of the round. That it
Great
was.
game.
It was a
could have
brilliant
gone either
watch.
way, and we may as well start the negatives there to a point because the omission or the absence through the suspension of Toby Green, we knew it was going to cost the Giants.
Yep.
It's arguably cost them that very first game. So he's got 4 more games to go in that space. St Kilda, genuine worries, aren't they? The midfield is just the same person, basically, just hard, relatively slow, but no real great dynamic.
Hunter Clark was out.
He's out.
He's a big
He's out. I'm referring to the team that
He's a
played
very
on
good
it.
player.
Yeah.
Good young player, Hunter Clark.
Mate, everyone's got good players out.
Not
the
round
Saints-
one. You normally don't
They
have.
Most teams have, but the Saints worry me. They do.
Yeah. And
Billings didn't play that. No, I didn't think they were as bad as you. I know we had
really,
this chat
yeah. Well, I
Saturday.
suppose they got close. I mean, Hayes was good, wasn't he, in his first
he was.
his first game? Marshall stood up, and I think Sinclair had a really good game too. But there's some real worries there, as there are for Essendon. I'm not as down on Essendon as some,
see,
but
I'm
they've
the
got
opposite.
injuries.
They were appalling.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Well, they had no
they just
forward
didn't
line.
bring any heat at all.
No, they didn't.
No, their midfield, they got smashed. Dangerfield, Selwood and Parford.
Yep.
They won every centre clearance. It was unbelievable, just smashed out of there. And they've got some good midfielders, when Merritt and Parrish and these boys, and McGrath, Shield. They've got a good midfield. They were poor. They were real. That's not
but the
real,
lack of intent and the
Yeah.
lack of will
Energy.
to run defensively, and I think that Ben Rutten, their review would have been savage.
Yeah, well, what do you say after the match? Which is unusual for round one. It's not what we stand for.
Yep.
You normally wait for that type of statement to be mid-season or thereabouts when you've lost all hope, but to be the very first game of the season. Concerns for Richmond. Look, again, I've learned over the journey, don't make judgments on round one. Wait till round 6, maybe even round 8, but there was just enough for them, I think, to be internally worried about. And primarily amongst that conversation is Cochin and Lynch. I feel they're just not the players they once were. I mean, that's obvious. They're older and they're banged up to a point. And Rivold's got an injury out of it as well. So he's in the latter stages of his career, whatever that means, 1 more year, 2 more years. I mean, he's an all-time great for that club and the competition with 14 goals he's got to his name now. But they're a bit at that sort of crossroads. And I still think they'll push up, but whether it's as high as I initially thought, who knows? GWS deserves a mention too, Jim, with just Touk Miller's leadership at that
Gold
club.
Coast.
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
It's been extraordinary,
Yeah.
and it's great to see Matty Rowell back in the form that he was against West Coast in the twilight game last night. It was back to that sequence of matches where he had 3 best on grounds in a row in his very first season, and he's had a terrible run of injuries since that sequence of matches. So it's good to see him back. And
33 disposals, 22 contested. That's what you like.
how many contested?
22.
Yeah, it's huge. And he just stood up, didn't he? And he was unlucky to not get a free kick when Rioli smashed into him at that stage. And as we speak, we're yet to see what the match review office thinks of that Rioli
West
situation.
Coast, I think, play North Melbourne this week.
Jim, who wins?
Who wins that? At Marvel. Well, North have got to start favourites. I mean, West Coast are decimated.
What's the crowd, too?
I'm talking about the crowd, Fat. I'm saying
Well,
who's
I'd be
going to win the
interested
game.
to know.
Oh, I'm going to go for West Coast, Jim.
No.
You can't tip North under any
No,
circumstances.
They
at this stage.
have to start favourites in that game.
They'll
have
start
to.
favourites, but they was favourites against Hawthorn too, weren't they?
No.
Like they were.
Couldn't
they
have
were
been.
favourites.
They could
They
not
were.
have been.
I think they were.
They could
were,
not have
Jim.
been. But now the bus.
Yeah.
Have we got? We were trying.
Oh, what's that?
Engine on the bus. The fan belts come away. All right, where are we sending it?
Well, we're just going to pause the bus at the moment. We've still got that one that's been up on the blocks there at Carlton.
Well, that's gone.
No, it's still there.
We've left it there over some.
After that win.
Yeah, no, it's still there because we've got long memories, Jim, since 2016 when Brendan Bolton walked in and when David Teague took over in 2019. Until Thursday night just gone, we've had no reason to get rid of it. I just need to see a bit more, Jim.
Last we got
Purple,
long.
You can't have a bus there.
No, it's been there all the
after
time.
that emphatic start
Well,
to the
we've got
season.
It's
long
actually part of the
grass.
new redevelopment down there. There's just work. They're building around that bus,
that
so I
is
can't get it out
harsh.
anyway.
We've got
That
to
is
need a
harsh.
good mower because it's very long grass.
They've built a roof over it.
Western Bulldogs Carlton Thursday night. That'll be interesting.
Massive game with Ashley Hansen going up against his
side.
his old side, and that old side is going to have a fair bit of what on the liver too, given what happened post match and the loss they had against Melbourne in the last 2 games they've played against Melbourne. So yeah, another round of footy coming up, which I hope is at least a semblance of what we saw in round 1.
2 for 15 Australia. Always great to catch up with you, Purple. Look forward to seeing you during the week.
Cheers, Jim.
Damo's recovery session.
Mitch Lewis from Hawthorn to join us after 5 as well. It's the Rush Hour, Triple M.